All right, another day and another sell-off. Let's break this down because this has been very, very aggressive, right? I mean, if we look at this right here on the daily chart, I just want us to regain a little bit of perspective, right? It has now been, let's calculate this. It's now been 41 days since Bitcoin has pretty much been trending down from the highs, where if you're watching this YouTube channel, you're going to remember that I was in a long position on Ethereum, huge profit, closed it right at the top over here. Not actually expecting such a big drop, but in preparation for a bit of a pullback. And since then, ladies and gents, we haven't had relief, right? We've been trending down, and not by a little bit. Not by a little bit, right? At this point, we've now dropped by about 29%, 28%. That's a big number to be dropping by. And so to me, this is starting to scream relief. We need a break, right? I mean, you guys hear me saying this when we move up and when we move down. Ladies and gents, I just want to make this point super clear as we get into this video and I break down for you what I'm seeing on this chart. Again, you'll know I don't shut up about it because trades like this are so damn impressive and they are a perfect showcase of everything we teach inside of VIP. But, one of the key reasons that I was willing to close my Ethereum long position up here in a 200% profit was because the market was moving up very quickly with no relief, right? From this low to this high, it was 21 days of straight upward price action, went up by 43%, which is absolutely huge. And so again, to see that we've now been trending down in Ethereum's case for a little bit less time, but still over a month and still down by minus 29%, you guys know the deal with me, right? I'm trying to be a realist here. When the market is moving up quickly like it did over here, I want to be out of my long positions. But when the market is moving down quickly, I'm not in a short position, but I would want to be out of that as well. And, one of the other things that I just want to bring to your attention is this fear and greed index. It's had a reading of 18 right now, and it's not even updated. I mean, this is like 6 hours out of date already. And so this is a very low reading, and we've been low for so long. I've been saying this for a while. Look at us. We're trending low again, down to very, very low extreme fear levels. And so what does this mean for the chart? Well, again, one of the things that I just want to make super clear is I'm not saying that a pump is going to happen now. I'm not saying that it's going to happen at these prices, right? It could happen a few days from now. It could never happen, and it might not even happen at these price levels. But what I really do want to focus your attention on are some of the signs that could be showing us that it's coming. First of all, though, let's start with the signs that prove me wrong. As an analyst, I have to look at both sides and then make my own judgment. And, one of the key things that I just want to point out to you right here is the volume. The volume is peaking right now. If we take a look at these volume bars, let me make them a little bit brighter for you. I have totally messed this up. Which is the correct? There it is. That's the correct color. If we take a look at the volume bars here, yeah, quite an obvious visual spike right here in volume. The first time that we've seen volume this high since way back towards the end of February, and that was on this strange little wick right here where the price actually fell down to similar price levels, but it rallied back up. And the last time that we saw red volume like this, that was actually when we entered this downtrend. And that's, again, something that I really just want to draw to your attention. When we see big volume spikes like this, especially when we drop to market lows, because this is a range low that we're at right now. I mean, this low we're at right now is, anywhere from here down to about $28,000. These are range lows. I mean, this is the low, the macro low for the market that we've had now for over a year, for nearly a year and a half now. And so seeing these volume spikes kind of leading into the same level, seeing that the fear and greed index is just abysmal, seeing that your average crypto trader is really bearish. Guys, I cannot tell you the amount of fucking DMs I've been receiving of guys that previously didn't really know what they were talking about like 6 to 9 months ago, now telling me, and guys, here's the difference, right? These videos, this is speculation. This is me telling you XYZ could happen because ABC probabilities are in play. So be aware of it. That's kind of what I'm talking about. When you get noobs, like people that are kind of new, like less than a year in the space, telling you what's going to happen, you know what I mean? Like, especially when it's bearish, guys, alarm bells ringing in my head. I want to remind you guys the kind of content that we're putting out on this YouTube channel. Ladies and gents, this is the same YouTube channel that was warning you guys that we were forming top patterns right here. I was warning you that we were forming this typical kind of top pattern right here. We could be looking at dropping down the same way that we did when we were trading up here with this top pattern, the exact same thing. That's what this YouTube channel is. This YouTube channel is staring, fire right in the face. and not being afraid of saying what I'm actually seeing here, which is that this market is now pushing way too far on the sell sides. Guys, smash up the likes, subscribe to the YouTube channel as well if you haven't done so already, if you find this kind of content useful. Again, I want to draw your attention to this range right here, which again, it pretty much starts where we're at. I'm going to draw it from about 35,000 down to these lows right here. This is a very, very important block in the market, and it's huge, right? This range is very big. This is like a 17% range, so it's not actually something that I want to focus on too much because, you know, I can't really call a 17% support zone. It's not very accurate. You know, it'd be a little bit silly if I took credit for that. But as a YouTuber, I'm sure I could find a way. And here's me being super self-aware. And the thing is that we're dipping right into that zone right now. And look, I want to do something super, super simple with you. I just want to go back and count the previous times that we've broken this support level or pumped up above it. Let's go back and do that. Okay, let's start with the first one. How many times have we broken this support level? 0. Absolutely none. We've never broken the support level. Yes, there are, you know, a couple of wicks and stuff like that, you know, and so on over here, but we haven't had a daily candle. We're on the 1 day time frame. We haven't had a daily candle close below this level for a long time. For those of you wondering, this level I've drawn stretches between 35,000 and basically 30,000, $29,900. And we haven't had a close below this level. So that's good news. And if we measure this back, you know, to when we first entered this range for the first time ever in Bitcoin's price history, that is now, wow, 490 days ago. I don't even know how many months. That was like 500 days ago. What is that? That's like a really long time. I don't even know how long that is. That is like roughly a year and a half. And if we take a look at how many times we found support in this range, it gets very, very interesting now. I mean, I'm not even going to draw arrows to count this because it's going to get excessive, but we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't want to count these wicks. 8, 9. Okay, bam, 9 in the first batch. This one's a little bit easier. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And now 17, 18, and bam, we're on number 19 right now. Look, all I'm saying, ladies and gents, is that the fear and greed index, very low. Volume peaking at the same levels. Sentiment across the space, very weak. Support level, it's held 18 times in a row. And it's only been tested 18 times. I'm just saying, guys, when something has 100% success rate like this, and we've got the same factors that to me massively indicate that this market needs relief, well, that's what I'm looking at. And one of the things that I want to talk about here is that relief doesn't mean that, you know, we you know, find support somewhere here and then, you know, we rally up to like 50K. That's not what relief means. Relief might just mean that we dump a little bit lower and then we pump up, maybe not even so high, maybe to like 36, 37, and then we continue dropping down. This is enough to be relief. You know, and the thing is that when we formed this kind of like this second wave right here, this second wave is what can really extend. I mean, it can go much further. Can I extend this out? Is it possible? I don't think I can actually manipulate these. No, I can't. So this second wave, you know, I mean, it can go a little bit up, or it can reverse the market totally and take us up to 60, 70, you know, $80,000. Either of those two things can happen, obviously, but we have to look at the strength that the market is going into it with. And you know, guys, one of the things that I can say quite confidently is that if we are aggressively trending in one direction and we're not really getting any relief, you know, and like I've shown you since the beginning of the video, we've basically been trending down for 41 days without any relief. You know, generally when we have such strong trends in any direction, whether it's up or down, we're going to get a pretty extreme reaction, right? And so to me, I mean, the longer it takes, the more of an extreme bounce I'm expecting. You know, the fact that it's got an 18 out of 18, 100% success rate across a year and a half, these are like the 3 key things that can be amazing. Number 1, it's tested a lot. Number 2, it stood the test of time. 500 days is a bloody long time to have a support level. And then number 3, I forgot number 3. Maybe it's just yeah, I mean, one of the other things is that it's just triggered nice reversals. I mean, you know, this reversal was pretty interesting because it took Bitcoin to a brand new all-time high. You know, this reversal was also pretty interesting because it also took Bitcoin to a brand new all-time high. You know, and so again, this support level, this is an important one right here. You know, this is an important one. I don't know if enough people are paying attention to it. One of the other things that I really do want to draw your attention to, and this actually I got the idea to check out from MDX Crypto is the BitMEX funding rates. Now, for those of you who don't know, MDX Crypto is a YouTuber. That's how you spell his name. You can punch this into the YouTube search bar. He is a fellow Brit with an even more spectacular accent than mine, and his analysis is spot on. I would even go as far as saying that he's maybe better than me. Probably is, to be honest. So if you like my stuff, then definitely. No, actually, he's definitely better than me. Just going off the conversations we've had, he knows more than I do. So do check him out if you like my stuff. But you know, one of the things that he was talking about, which we've looked at a lot on this YouTube channel as well, is the funding rate. And guys, when the funding rate is negative for a long time, you know, this is generally an indication that things, you know, might be approaching some sort of reversal zone for Bitcoin. And again, this is exactly what, you know, has got me hyped up a little bit. You know, one of the things I just want to remind us all about right now is that I've been saying for a very, very long time, even while Bitcoin was, you know, starting to flirt with that 50K range, that we're still fine as long as we don't fall below 30K. You know, if we fall below 30K, then yes, there's no support on this chart, and you know, it could get really bad really, really quickly. But we haven't done that yet. And again, I'm seeing so many things just honing it, just pointing at the same. You know what I mean? Like when you've got the, you know, when you're looking at, when you're investigating something, I don't know, whatever, some family drama, and you've got like 5 different signs, and they all point to the same damn thing. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that's what I'm seeing right here. You know, this funding rate, first of all, for those of you who don't know what funding rates are, this is a representation of how many people are trading the long side versus the short side. Okay, and what that means is that on most exchanges, so some exchanges, the big ones especially, they are the exception, right? So Binance is a great exception to this, but you know, BitMEX, for example, BitMEX isn't super relevant anymore. It's not a big exchange. It used to be the biggest. Shout out to those of you who are watching this YouTube channel from the BitMEX days, by the way. Just let me know in the comments, were you watching this YouTube channel since the BitMEX days? Because that's like 4 or 5 years ago. I'm going to be very, very impressed if you've been around since then. And guys, just smash up the likes as well if you are enjoying this video so far. I do appreciate you all very much. You guys know I've moved on to bigger and better things with Bybit. This is the new exchange to be on. BitMEX used to be the shit. You know, BitMEX used to be the main exchange to be on for everybody. It's Bybit now, and Bybit is my exchange of choice. I've been using them for years, only using them for years pretty much, and absolutely love them. So if you want to sign up to Bybit, then check it out with the link in the description down below. You're going to be getting some extra free cash deposited into your account as a thank you for using my sign up link to Bybit as well. So if you like free cash, then bam, there it is. Check out the link in the description down below. But again, guys, this is the thing, is that the funding rate is a representation of, you know, where the money is in the market. And when the funding rate is negative, that tells us that people going short are being paid by the exchange in order to keep their position open. If this is starting to confuse you, don't worry. You don't need to know what that means. But when it's positive, that means that, yeah, a lot of people are going long. A lot of people are buying Bitcoin, and the exchange is paying people to go short. And really, you know, what this means, you know, to clarify this even further, is when the market is very bullish, generally you have a lot of people trading towards the upside, like trading long, trading a lot of upside trade, like making a lot of upside direction trades, and that's going to print quite large positive funding rates. But when people turn very bearish, which, by the way, generally doesn't happen at the right time. I just want you guys to take note of this big dump right here. Bam, let's drop a vertical line there and another vertical line there. In fact, no, we need to be a little bit more precise with this. So I'm going to drop the vertical line here, and I'm going to drop the second vertical line here. This period between these two red lines, this is where the whole dump happens. Bitcoin between these two red lines drops from a high of 65,000 to a low of 30,000 within just over a month, about 34 days, and the funding rate only drops from positive levels to neutral levels. Okay, so people trading the downside are usually very late. And it's the same on the upside. I mean, in this case, the upside was pretty easy to trade because it was, you know, it was a beautiful, you know, I mean, it was 2021, 2020 market was just spectacular. But you know, these funding rates, they show you where the money is at, and the money is usually wrong. That's my point. You know, I mean, this is usually where you know, the shit munching traders are not really sure of what's going on, and so you know, you only start seeing a negative funding rate when the market has already bottomed. And obviously at the time we didn't know that. You know, I mean, we definitely thought that the market, I sure as fuck thought that the market would keep on dropping, you know, for a while. And so I was totally wrong about that. I just put my hands up. I really messed that analysis up. You know, but the point is that the funding rates became, pardon me, the funding rates became negative only after the dump was finished. You know, and right now we're pretty much seeing, I mean, it's different this time because the funding rates, you know, turned significantly negative on this day where we had the big dump. And so, you know, actually, you know, a lot of these traders would have been in the money and correct for about, I mean, a short period of time, not long, for about a month. And then from there, everyone's been in kind of mediocre positions. But, you know, this is an indication right now that, yeah, you know, funding rates are quite low. Quite deep into the negatives right now. You know, and generally that's just a display that people are too bearish. People are just way too bearish, and you know, the money is leaning that way. And again, this is all happening as we approach, you know, what is potentially our strongest support zone. It's not something that I can take lightly. You know, that's the thing for me. One of the things that I like to do when I'm looking at these charts is, you know, I'll take on, for example, one of these charts. I've now actually forgotten how to do it, but I think this is how. And then we take the Bitcoin USD chart for, I mean, we can use Coinbase, it doesn't matter. Bam. And we just use this inverse chart. I mean, this chart literally just flips Bitcoin around, makes it upside down. I'll make a whole video dedicated to this, but you know, bottom line, ladies and gents, if we just, you know, forget about everything that happened before this because it's not relevant to this analysis, you know, you're going to get a very, very clear picture right now of how, I mean, yeah, this resistance zone on this chart has obviously been, you know, a pretty big deal for a while. I can even stretch this lower so it looks like my other chart, down to minus $35,000. Not sure if you could hear that in the background, by the way, but that was quite a loud motorcycle. You know, so this resistance level was quite a big area, you know, for Bitcoin. I mean, you know, one of the things that's bullish about this, bullish, right? That is bearish for our real chart, but bullish for this, is that, you know, we've tested the resistance so many times. And so, you know, the more you test the level, the more likely you are to break it. And obviously that would, you know, potentially indicate that we drop down to like minus 20K. But, you know, I mean, we've kind of been trending away from it. You know, I mean, the first few times we punched quite high, then we punched a little bit lower, but still quite high. You know, now even lower still. You know, this rally obviously looks like it's got a lot of juice in it. Volume is picking up. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, these signs are here to show us that we might continue to rise up towards this resistance level. But, you know, for the most part, it is a resistance level. And the rejections that it's triggered have been absolutely bloody massive. So I do not want to, you know, just take that in vain and forget about it or anything. I think those are really, really big factors. And again, we bring it back to this normal chart, the one that we are used to, which is the exact same chart, just now it's the correct way around. And again, I just feel like that offers a little bit of perspective to this problem with Bitcoin right now and how it's just really not that bad. You know, again, you know, especially what really made me, I was going to make a bearish video today because the market's still, you know, overall it's in a bad position, right? I was going to, but I came on here and I'm like, fuck, I mean, what is this, like 4 big red candles in a row, or orange in this case, but, you know, bearish got 4. I mean, they're not big. This one wasn't huge. This is a 1% drop, but I mean, you're just over these last 4 days. And the thing is it's with no relief. You know, it's with no pause. I mean, we're barely even, I mean, the only relief we got was that we traded lower slowly, you know, in this pattern right here. That's it. We got our shitty little breakout and it didn't last. And then we kept on dropping, you know, and so to me, again, it's just too much. It doesn't last forever like this. Yeah, sure, we can get another day of selling off. We can get another week of selling off. It doesn't matter. That's not really the point. The point is that now we are due for, in my opinion, you know, some sort of real relief, some sort of real correction. And let's talk about where that might go. You know, I think that a lot of this is dependent on where that correction might begin from. You know, I mean, right now we're at about 34,000. $334,400. This is where the the support zone is probably heaviest, is right here. This is probably the most intense part of the support. If we lose, I mean, yeah, like around this area, if we lose like 33K, then yeah, there's not much, you know, I mean, in the ways of support. If we just look at how the price has interacted between these two green lines, between 30,000 and 33,000, we generally have not traded, you know, between this range. I mean, we can count it pretty easily. The only, you know, candle closes we've ever had total about, you know, what is this, 8 plus 6 plus, yeah, another couple right here. I mean, you know, we're not looking at more than like 25 days in Bitcoin's whole history, you know, where it's been able to trade between these two green lines. And so I do definitely feel that, you know, if we lose this level, then yeah, we could be looking at a steeper drop within this same support area. You know, and that would obviously impact, you know, how much we can bounce. I mean, you know, if we drop lower into this range, I mean, you know, and if we drop there quickly, then yes, okay, I can probably expect quite a big reversal. But if we have a little bit of a pause and then we keep going down, I mean, you know, that bounce could be pretty weak. You know, if we start it from higher up, you know, I mean, we're basically just targeting resistance. I mean, that's what we're doing in a nutshell. You know, and so, you know, one of the horizontal areas of resistance. Is it raining? One of the horizontal areas of resistance that I have right here is at about, you know, $38,000. You know, we've been able to use it as support recently, and of course, you know, a little bit more historically as well. And have we used it as resistance? Yeah, we've used it as resistance a little bit. So, you know, this is definitely an important level, you know, to some extent. But the other thing is, you know, just throw on some, you know, Ichimoku clouds or whatever. These have been very useful for our Ichimoku cloud. Now getting lower and lower, down to 37.2. You know, the moving averages as well could definitely play some part in the market. I don't want to talk too much about that right now. It's too far away. But on the daily time frame, it has flipped bearish as of, yeah, basically the middle of April. So the middle of last month, 20 days ago. And again, this is way too far away. But, you know, to me, what this is an indication of is that if the market does get a little bit of a reversal, it could just end up hitting this band of resistance and then continue dropping down. Unfortunately, this is what happens as we keep losing support areas. You know, if we come back up, they're resistance now. I mean, that's what you have to expect. And so, you know, that's why you start to see, you know, that sentiment kind of switching more and more and more, you know, as time goes on. And this is obviously within shorter term analysis. You know, the long term analysis is still pretty clear. And a lot of people have problems with that. I don't know why. Maybe it's like an IQ thing. Maybe they're just willingly stupid. I really don't know. I don't, but you know, a lot of people struggle to understand that you can have, you know, short-term analysis, which is different from mid-term analysis, which is different from long-term analysis. You know, a lot of people think that, you know, if it's up, then it's up, to quote whatever that 𝗪𝗔𝗔𝗟 is. You know, but that's not the case. That's not the case. You know, it's always a little bit more nuanced than that. And of course, that's what we're aiming to bring to you guys on this YouTube channel. So, you know, that's what I'm seeing in the markets right there. You guys know the deal. If you want to jump inside of VIP, if you want to be able to watch me trading this market in real time, then follow these steps on screen right here. This is where you can jump into VIP, see every trade I'm making and have made throughout history. By the way, you can scroll up. There's a lot of shit in there. There's a long list of benefits. So if you do want to jump inside, then yeah, just follow these steps on screen. I haven't actually traded for a while. The market has, you know, for a while been super stale. I mean, there was nothing to trade in this range. But, you know, with this volatility being back and coins dropping key levels, you know, it's starting to look very, very interesting again. You know, I was just looking at Cardano before I made this video, and, you know, it is basically falling off a cliff right now. It's already started that. Solana, actually in a support zone. That's interesting. You know, so there's a lot going on across this market. Link has just fucked it. I mean, it is totally, there's no other way to say it. Link has lost it completely. You know, I mean, from 52 down to 10, this is a minus 80% drop. I mean, Link has been hit hard. A moment of silence for the Link brothers. I remember calling Link a shitcoin on my live streams, and those shitcoin holders, they were upset. I remember that. I remember that fire. There was a little bit of heat. There was a little bit of heat. And I couldn't say anything because I wasn't proven correct at the time. You know, so I just had to be like, you know what? You'll see it, shitcoin holders. You'll see it. But you're not going to be here to hear it from me. That's the fucking disappointing part. You know, I want to please my ego a little bit. But they're not even here. They leave. They go crying. They lose 50% before everyone else loses 50%, and then they leave the space. Anyway, it's the natural cycle. You know, obviously that money is moving into Bitcoin. Bitcoin's dominance has, of course, been going up. Let's take a look at Bitcoin's dominance. Bitcoin's dominance has overall been trending up since the beginning of this year, and it's actually shot up, you know, recently towards the end of April. Now dropped down quite a bit just since May has begun. But the other thing is, of course, you know, when it goes into Bitcoin, it's probably going back into the dollar, and that is the other star of the show that we've been looking at. The dollar has been performing very, very well. It did not end up dropping down yet. If past performance is any indication, then we definitely have time to see the dollar dropping. If the dollar does drop from here, I was going to say ladies, but probably just the gents for this one, time to get your lotions out, bro. Because if the dollar starts dropping from here, whew, we are seeing, you know, we're potentially going to see one of the craziest, most face-melting rallies ever for Bitcoin, given how high the dollar is and how low Bitcoin is. There's been some interesting comments about the milkshake theory, which is that so the dollar is not actually strong right now. To be very clear, the US dollar currency index is an index comparing the dollar to other currencies. And so what could be happening, and what I believe to be the case right now, is that all currencies, or generally most of them, especially the major ones, are getting worse, are getting weaker, you know, because of inflation and so on. But the dollar is getting worse slower than the other currencies, which is to say, if the pound is declining by 10% a year, the dollar is declining by 8%, you know, and so it's outperforming the pound. And so on this index, it shoots up. That's the milkshake theory. That's basically what it is. I want to go into more detail about it. So do me a favor. If you want me to make a video about it, just drop it in the comments. Tell me that you want me to make a video on the milkshake theory. That's a bit of a weird name, but I like the idea of branching out into, you know, broader economics and so on. Again, I'm not the guy for that, but I feel like I know more than the average person about it. And I know that you guys want to, you know, probably hear my opinions on it as well. So anyway, just let me know if that is something down in the comments below. But yeah, the dollar right here still being the star of the show, still pushing up, really. I mean, it's left in a pretty strong place, you know, on the Friday that the markets closed. And now, yeah, from the time of me recording, from the time of you watching, you've got basically 15 hours or less until the dollar begins trading again. And the S&P 500 also closed quite low. Obviously, you know, Bitcoin and the S&P 500 being pretty well correlated right now, all in all. Gold probably doing horribly as usual. Yep, I mean, not really keeping its gains. Gold has been the biggest joke of, I was gonna say this past decade, but it's been horrible for longer than a decade now. It is a huge cup and handle though. My goodness, look at that. Bam, that's the cup and that is the handle. So I mean, the handle's not really working out as it's supposed to, because you're not supposed to get another pullback, but you know, cup and handle formation still very much intact, I think. And so yeah, I mean, eventually maybe you gotta pop up to, like, you know, 2400. You got a little 20% gain that you've been waiting for about 13 years, 12 years. I don't know. I can't do the math. You know, obviously, I think if something like that were to happen, then Bitcoin would again steal the show and be absolutely beautiful. Guys, just look at this dump on the weekly time frame. Again, it's on the weekly as well. You know what I mean? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weekly candles in a row. And by the way, this weekly candle ends in 18 hours. This is according to Dubai time zone, by the way. And so, you know, there is not long left. You know, there's not long left until, you know, something you know, is going to start looking very, very strange in terms of, I mean, you know, how often do we have so many downward consecutive candles? You know what I mean? Like, I made a video about this recently. It's not often, and it usually precedes, it usually comes directly before a big reversal. And the reason I feel so confident talking about this is I know a lot of you guys aren't going to agree with me, and I love you all. Thank you for, you know, supporting the channel, but I'm not here to make friends. I'm not here to fucking make anybody happy or hold hands with people and be like, yeah, I agree with you too, bro. No, I'm here to make money. And if I start seeing that, you know, across the space, people are expressing one very sure sentiment of the market moving in a particular direction, as we're at a support level, as we've got horrific funding rates that massively indicate that we're ready to move to the upside, as we're looking at 6 consecutive weeks of selling off. 6 consecutive weeks. 6 weeks, guys. Come on. That's a long time. 6 weeks. Non-stop. There isn't a single instance of that happening in this whole chart, like that I'm showing you right now. And this chart stretches back to, you know, October of 2020. All right, that's a year and a half ago. That is 18 months back that this chart stretches, and we haven't done this once other than right now. Do you know what I mean? Like, that really puts it into perspective for me, at least, that that this market is weak. I'm sorry, is over, you know, it's overextended. And I just don't like to ignore facts. You know, could I be wrong about this? Absolutely. Could Bitcoin just massively just, you know, shit the bed and drop down to 20K? 100%. Of course it can. Of course it can. Absolutely. But, you know, again, I like the fact that this has worked 18 times out of the last 18 times it's been attempted, this support range. And I'm not ready to lose faith in that. In fact, as I see people getting more scared and more extreme in their opinions, I'm ready to double, triple, quadruple down on these ideas. That's my take. That's how I trade. I don't like to lose money. I don't like to be wrong. And that's why I tend to bet against the people who are generally wrong even. It's all going down on Bybit. You guys already know the deal. I got to bring it up again. Guys, there's so many markets you can trade on Bybit. You got spot trading, a huge spot trading portfolio of things you could trade right here as well. I mean, you know, you can scroll for days. They've added so many things here. Obviously, derivatives is what I do, and my God, they've got a lot for derivatives as well. These are just the inverse perpetuals, and then they've got the USDT perpetuals. You can trade bloody anything on here, and you're getting pretty good liquidity. I mean, you know, $16 billion in 24-hour trading volume. This is a strong exchange, super secure, super safe. I've never had an issue with it. I don't know of anyone that has either, actually. Looking back, I've never heard of anyone being hacked on Bybit. Obviously, you know, other people can get hacked because of their own negligence, but, you know, because of Bybit, never heard of it. You know, so again, it's worth having, especially just as a backup exchange. You know, I mean, the thing that I like to say is, look, first of all, when you sign up using my link, you're going to get some free money. So it's fucking free money. Why would you not do it? But beyond that, having a backup exchange is very useful, guys. I mean, we're in an unregulated space. Your favorite exchange of choice could shut down at every moment. At any moment, it can be, you know, whatever. It can be raided. It can get hacked. I mean, any number of bad things can happen, which could affect your funds and your ability to trade. You know, and so to spread out your eggs in different baskets, even on the same exchange, making multiple accounts, just, you know, for a security measure. These are all very smart things you can do. You don't have to do it. You know, if you don't want to be the guy that takes, or the girl that takes extra steps for your security. You know, because maybe it's just not important to you, then don't. But if you feel like you got capital at risk that you want to protect, you'd be a fool not to. So, you know, you don't have to use Bybit. There's a million more options out there, but this is the biggest, other than Binance, of course. And in my opinion, it is the absolute best. So bam, link in the description down there. And of course, you already know the deal. If you want to jump inside of VIP, get absolutely everything that we have on offer, just find out what is on offer, then these are the steps on screen for that. But with that, I really hope you have enjoyed this video. Guys, do me a favor, follow my Instagram and Twitter down in the description as well. Smash up the likes, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. Twitter and Instagram, you're going to be seeing behind the scenes of my life. Pretty cool stuff. If you like what I'm putting out here, Instagram is more like the behind the scenes. Twitter is more my thoughts and so on. And then, of course, YouTube is the main platform. But if you want more, if you like what you're getting, then those social platforms are one to check out. And if you want more trading specific stuff, then this first link right here is all you need. This is our free Telegram channel. It looks a little bit like this. And this is a channel where I share with you even more analysis, even insights into the trades I'm making and so on occasionally as well. They all go here. If you want absolutely everything we put out regarding trading and so on, then that is going to be in the VIP package. And that's the way you get that is by, first following this link up here, but then clicking on my name at the bottom of any post inside of Fourflies Gold. This first link will take you to this section, and then you click on my name, and then you click on send message. Super simple, super straightforward, and I will respond to you. And of course, if I don't, one of my assistants will. All right, there you go. Hope you have enjoyed this one. You know what to do, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.